Firstly, it's tomorrow, not today, because today I'm wearing a different shirt, but you'll see that in a moment. The mission is to tune this, the OddityRC Xi20. We're not just going to tune it using traditional PIDs, oh no, we're going to use AI. We are going to get ChatGPT to write everything on this, from PIDs to dynamic idle to anti-gravity, the lot. So stick around, find out, see what happens to this poor little thing. Will it explode? Probably. Will it hit the ceiling? Maybe. Will I crash it? Absolutely. Let's get on with it. My name's Johnny. Will it mod? Will it mod? The Xi20, it's plugged in and it has been flashed from 4.5.1 to 4.5.2, and all I've done in the config is set my my ports. Obviously we need ports, so the GPS, the serial RX and so on. I have also set my modes, as I want this thing to actually fly. We can't ask AI to set modes because it doesn't have a clue. We've also set the motors as well. What I haven't done is anything in this PID tuning area. This is all set to stock. I have put my rates in, and I've left the filtering here utterly stock as well. So what we're going to do is take it for a flight with the Blackbox configured. I've set this to 2 kHz, gyro scaled, all selected, and I'm going to just erase the flash to make sure that we're completely empty there, and take it for a little jiggle flight. We'll take this into the office where I am now. We'll send it up in the air and give it a little wiggle from left to right. So let me get on and get the other camera out, and then we'll snap to that. Right, got an 850 milliamp hour battery in the Oddity. Picked the heavy one rather than the light one because I figured a bit more weight, it might tune a bit easier. It's from cake earlier. Cake was delicious. So we're now going to take it for a flight, give it some wobbles left and right, give it some wobbles front and back. We don't want to hit the floor or anything like that. We want clean data, and then I'm going to give it some yaw wobbles as well. So not too much, but just the basics. And we need to have enough in there so that we can shove this into AI through the Blackbox, and then it can look at the reactions and corrections and then adjust the PID accordingly. So let's take it for a little flight. And this is in stabilized mode as well. I'm not going to fly this in acro mode. Stabilize is way easier if you've done this before, so you'll understand. Right, see some left and right. And now for forward back. It feels very dampened at the moment. That should be good. Now we'll just go, I'm going to do some circles. So round. Forward and back combined. And now some yaw. A bit more left right, a bit more forward back, a bit more yaw. That should do. Stick that there. So we've got some data. We're now going to plug this back into the computer and grab the Blackbox data. So let's do that just now. In the drone now, and we're going to have a look. We've got some 11 megs worth of data taken up by that flight. So this is the Blackbox data. We're going to save that flash, and we will stick it in here. We'll create a new folder. We will call this Blackbox from OddityRC. And stick it in here. Right, we'll save that data. That's our flash coming down. That's going to take a little while. Now we've got that data, what we need to do is we're also going to take the configuration, the current configuration of this drone as it's configured within Betaflight. So we're going to dump the preset. So I'm going to give this a second, and when it's completed, carry on the recording. It has now completed, so we can click OK to continue. We'll come to the presets tab, and we will save this preset as a backup. This effectively backs up the whole lump. We're going to put this as stock oddity, and we'll save that in the same location as well. So we know this is the stock, or should we put stock pre-AI oddity. So we'll save that in there as well. So now we've got our configuration, and we also have the Blackbox data. So the next part is to go to an AI solution and see what it comes up with. So let's scoot to that next. Right, we've set up with ChatGPT 4.0, and what we're going to do is we're going to enable voice mode and ask it a couple of questions. We're going to basically prep it with the drone that we have. We're going to tell it what motors we have, what firmware, all that kind of stuff, and then prep it for the data before we import it, essentially, and tell it what we're going to do. So let's crack on and see what happens. Hello. I don't know why I'm saying hello to you. You're an AI, but hello anyway. I've got an OddityRC Xi20. That's a 2-inch quad. I think it weighs about 230 grams with the battery in that I'm using, which is 850 milliamp hour 6S. The motors are spinny boys. They are 1205 in size, and they are 5500 kV. It's running the OddityRC all-in-one flight controller. Has a DJI O3 installed and a GPS on the back. I would like you to run through from a stock configuration, which is basically what I have now. I would like you to give your best recommendations and apply everything to things like PID values, dynamic idle, also, what else? I mean, basically everything. Feed forward, the lot. I'm hoping if I could send you a configuration of what I currently have, which is stock, you could help me configure it for this. In terms of what it's running betaflight 4.5.2. My flying is intermediate at best. This will be freestyle and cinewhoop, both indoor and outdoor, with a focus on control. Control is really the primary focus. I want to be able to hit tight gaps and have fun with this. So that's what I'm looking for out of the tune. Is there anything else you need from me before I upload the config?
Hi Johnny, that sounds like a fun setup. To help with tuning, your current configuration file will be useful. If you can upload it, I can give specific recommendations.
He's so miserable.
Values, dynamic idle, feed forward and more. Let me know if you need any guidance on how to do that.
Now I've got the config, I'm going to drop out of this and upload it in the text window.
Sounds good. Once you've uploaded it, I'll take a look and help you fine-tune everything.
Righty-ho! Let's grab the info. Upload from computer. We had that backup from earlier, which is the pre-AI Oddity backup, not the Blackbox logs. We can use those for a different AI, or save them for a different AI. Here's the current preset. Let's see what comes back. Here's a detailed breakdown and suggestion of your OddityRC Xi20 Pro 2-inch quad. So it's telling us what we have. Solid base, betaflight 452, RPM filtering enabled, GPS rescue configured correctly, great. Feed forward active and tuned, crash recovery on. So again, all this stuff is base level in terms of PID, and that's what I want you to remember. I have set my throttle expo and mid to how I like it, but again, we're concentrating here on PIDs. So we have here the PID tune in the active profile. It's saying you're flying a small, high KV 6S quad, so we want to be cautious with the D values to avoid hot motors and oscillations. PID currently is 73 on P, I is 111, D is 69, which is slightly high, feed forward is 72. So it's recommending lowering the D pitch to 60, D roll to 48 to reduce motor temps, and consider raising the F yaw to 70-75 if you want snappier stops. Dynamic idle is missing currently. which it would be because I think it's set to 0. It's disabled, so it's suggesting a value of 30 there, which actually is I would think that's a pretty good value for a 2-inch quad. That's a great starting point, isn't it? Feed forward is suggesting smoothing factor of 45, jitter of 10, and a max rate limit of 100. TPA tweaks. TPA rate is 70, breakpoint 1300. Saying it's too... yeah, I agree. It is aggressive on a 2-inch rig. So small motors don't sag as hard. So saying TPA rate of 50 and a breakpoint of 1350. Thrust linearization 30, which is saying is great. Keep that. D-term filtering. So here we're getting onto the filtering itself. Do you know what? I might just let it do some of the filtering changes, or should I? Should I not? Do you know what? I'm going to roll with it. Whatever it suggests, I'm going to do. Who am I to argue? Fail safe. You've got GPS and rescue enabled, so on. And here's some of the summary of the updates. Okay. What would you improve? And how would you tune the quad for the best results? Let's ask it what else it would change. You know, goodness me, my typing is terrible. Oh, I can type. It's been a long day. What would you improve and how would you tune the quad for the best results? Update anything you feel is required. Again with the spelling. Let's ask it. Oh no, it's saying let's go full will it mod on your Xi20. I really hope not, because that would end in disaster. It's going to dial it in for a crisp, confident freestyle with enough smoothness. Great. Okay, so it's saying again 230 gram, 2-inch on 6S, 1205, 5500 kV. Right now it's taking all the info. It's taking into consideration the weight, the battery, the motors. And it is now changing a few of the other elements in there as well. Increasing the idle boost slightly. I've never messed with a D-shot idle value. Okay, fine. We're going to roll with this. We're just going to run it. We're going to take all of this stuff and run it in the CLI and just apply it. I feel that's a perfectly safe thing to do. Can you give me all the CLI commands to run in betaflight? So we'll wait for this to complete. It's still punching out, look. So what else have we got in here? We've got the filtering for the gyro and D-term, feed forward settings, I-term and anti-gravity. It's altering some of those. Anti-gravity gain set to 4. So it says 40 here, but I believe that's actually set to 4 when we come to apply it. Throttle PID attenuation. Miscellaneous optimizations. Rates, rate profile 1 active. So here's the RC rates, your RC rates. This is going to town. So it's actually setting my rates for me. This is going to be pretty scary. Do I really want it to set my rates? Fine, whatever. You know what? Let's just roll with it. Let's just roll with it. Oh, it's done it already. I don't need to ask it to get the commands ready because look, it's done that for us. Here's a copy-paste block if you want it. Yeah, that's great. Let's just copy the whole thing. I think I might remove the save off the end just so I can see if everything's gone through correctly. There, Control-Paste and smash it in. So we've got one error which is dynamic idle minimum RPM. So we'll check that. We will save it. And then we'll just check the dynamic idle to make sure that's set to 30. That's the one thing that didn't go in. Where is dynamic idle? Dynamic idle value is 38. Yes, it didn't set that. So fine, we'll set that. Let's move me there. That's it. Now, derivatives all set to 0. Let's just have a quick look through that config to make sure that was correct. Doesn't look like that is correct. Do I just leave it? Derivatives set to 0 and all. Is this correct? No, it's not correct. Unless you're running dmin. No, we're not. Okay, there we go. Your profile active one has this section. Does it? 65, 144. Let's go back and just check this has actually set these correctly, because I'm not 100% certain they've gone in. 7105. So let's look at this as the P pitch. PIDF. 7105, 56 and 75. I don't think that's gone in. D 105. Let's go back into pit tuning. 7105. Am I looking at the wrong area? 7105, 56 and 75. No, it is right. It is in there. I'm just blind. Fine. So the derivatives there is 0. Let's change that out. Where's the block 4? So your 0 is expected. So D roll and D pitch. D min. Okay. Let's ask for a CLI block. Nothing is zeroed by mistake. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be like AI to make a mistake, would it? Alright, it's giving me the core PID values again. This time it's gone PIDDF. So we've got a D min in there as well. That looks correct. Oh, it's off on one. Right, we'll just take the core PID values, stick them in, save it, go back in, make sure that it's that we've actually got some derivatives in there. We've got no Dmax, which is expecting no derivative. Well, I mean, that's what we've got. Whether it's right or not, I don't know. Okay, let's... that is saved, isn't it? That is saved. Let's back this preset up now. Save the backup. So we've got a baseline. We know where we're coming from. AI tuned V1. And then see if it flies. Right. Let's do this now so that you can see that this is the quad and this is the tune. This could go horribly wrong. You know, I've got some nice paint on the ceiling in here. It looks really nice. Okay, be a shame if somebody stoved a quad into it. Right, it's on. It's in stabilized mode. Okay, we're connected. Let's see if I can at least hover this. Well, bad things haven't happened yet. We haven't taken off, and this is the bit that... Okay. That's fine. That's air mode bouncing it. That's not a problem. I think I just wanted to tentatively take off by a couple of inches to make sure that it wasn't going to stove it into the ceiling. But here we go. Let's just fly it a little bit. If it flies. Okay. That feels incredibly controllable. In fact, it feels very controllable. Not that you'll learn anything from hovering it, but you know. Compared to the stock tune where it was kind of flitting around all over the shop, this actually feels... Okay, the rates are weird. But yeah, you know what? I dropped it. Poor thing. Right, that was surprisingly okay. Now, if it were light outside, I'd take it for a little fly. Let me have a quick look outside and see what the light situation is.
Several months later.
Yeah, it's dark out there, but we'll see what happens, right? It's dark, but will it stop me? I guess that all depends on how much I can see. And if it goes terribly, then obviously I'll just land it, but we're just going to fly out the window and see if I can do a lap of the garden and come back in. Am I recording there? Probably. Okay, should be on board now. Let's arm it. Okay, there we are. Ooh. It's going to take getting used to.
Acro mode.
Okay, I can't see a thing really. But we're flying. Oh yeah, we can't see a thing. Let's put it back in stabilise and see if I can fly it back in, because it's kind of hard to tell at this point what's going on. There's the window. And we are down. That is really dark out there. Look, we have it. It's really hard to kind of give impressions on how it flies, but it flies. What do I know from flying this with the stock tune on it? Well, the stock tune was really overly dampened, and it was weird. It was very overly dampened, but it was also hugely twitchy, if that makes any sense. It was just a horrible mix of all sorts. Initial thoughts on that were it actually flew pretty good. For the very brief amount of time. I need to take this out and actually give it a proper rip. So let's cut to tomorrow when it's a bit more daylight outside, take it for a run and give some actual final thoughts on that particular tune. And in the next session, I think what we'll do is we'll use a different AI tool, which I have access to now, which is manus.im. We'll use that, and the benefit with using manus.im is we can import the Blackbox logs and get it to do all the PID tuning off the data that we actually have. So that'll be very exciting. For now, does AI tune a drone? I think so. We haven't caught fire, we didn't hit the ceiling, managed to fly out the window, around in pitch black and come back in. So let's cut to a shot for tomorrow morning where it will be absolutely freezing, no doubt, and cut to me flying another shot. Yeah, let's do that.
One eternity later.
So the next morning, I've installed some coffee. I've got the OddityRC here, I've got my controller there, got my goggles there, so I'm pretty much ready to go. Got a pair of packs ready to fly as well. And what I'm going to do is I want to do a back-to-back comparison of the betaflight defaults, so the preset defaults, and then fly it straight after with the tune, the AI tune on it. And that way I can compare and see what they're like. So I'm going to power up everything. And whilst that lot is powering up, I'll come into here and just show you the preset, load the backup, and here we're going to pick the pre-AI backup, applying that config, and that's in. We'll check the PIDs to make sure that they are all absolutely defaults. This is a stock default profile. Right, let's unplug that. I'll keep things rolling so that you can see what's going on. Stick a battery in this. And we'll power it up. Stick it on the floor.
Flight mode stabilized. Turtle mode off. Disarmed off. Flight mode 1.
Right, goggles on. Got my radio, although you probably can't see it. I'm going to run this in angle mode to fly out and then flip into acro mode. I'll put this on so I've got somewhere to hang it. Okay, let's. You should be on board now. There it is in the background. Let's go ahead and fly out the window. Flip into acro, and we're off. So this feels okay. It feels a bit dampened. It feels a little bit slow in the turns. But, you know, there's not a lot of bounce back. Very, very floaty there. Bit of prop wash. So that's all kind of as expected off a stock tune, to be honest. It's, you know, it's doing all right, but it's not what I'd call hugely sporty. There's still a bit of punch. So this is flying okay, as you'd expect from a stock tune, I guess. Nothing sensational. Let's see what the slow control's like. If I can slow it down. Drop down here. My pile of cardboard. Still not 100% used to flying these again after my little bit of time off. It's taking some effort to get back into it for sure. But I can still fly-ish. I really need to sort that tent out, that poor thing. So all in all, we're doing alright. Right, let's go over here and hit this little gap. Probably see my head wobbling around on camera there. Ooh, okay, it's alright. It's a bit dampened. It's the way it feels. It feels reasonably good. It does feel sluggish. It does feel dampened, but it's not a terrible experience. It flies pretty good. That's kind of what I expected. Oh my goodness. That's kind of what I expected, in all honesty. Was a reasonable flight. Off of a reasonably good stock tune. I'm betaflight 4.5.2. It is good stock. You know, it works. It flies well. What more can you ask for? I would not be unhappy with that. What we are going to do, just donk the mic there, is now plug it back in. Stick in there. Come over here, go to the presets, and load our AI tuned V1. Let's plop that in there. We've got a nice fresh pack to stick in as well. And we'll double check the PIDs and rates to see what's going on in there. So here we can see all over the shop, completely different rates that aren't mine. This is going to be fun. Right, so let's disconnect that. That is now loaded and ready to go. And I thought it'd be a good idea to do these back to back, and that way I've got some kind of comparison, because we're not looking at a Blackbox, and we're not really checking out anything to do with. I need to give this a clean shirt. I shouldn't clean it with my shirt, but anyway.
Telemetry recovered.
Because we're not looking at reaction times on PIDs and those lovely curves and stuff, we are purely going by feel. I thought it would be a better idea to run these back to back. And the reality is you know, the AI doesn't have a clue about Blackbox or any of the PIDs or reactions either. It's doing this based off of a whole bunch of information that it's got from the internet and from not previous experience, but you know what's available. Right, so we're on board again. Let's take this one out for a flight. And into acro. That's a very different experience already. So this feels not necessarily the rates. Goodness, that is that overshot there, but that's me. I think the rates are a lot higher. Okay, well let's try and get used to this. The stick feel in the middle, due to the rates, is Definitely more controllable. It's not the rates that I'm used to, but you know, it's flying okay. It feels sharper. It feels much more sharp. Let's see if we can get any... Okay, so we've got air mode kicking in. And the dynamic idle kicking in there, so it's eliminating some of the prop wash potential. Oh, and a little glitch there. Now that little glitch was the crash recovery kicking in, because we're going a bit too bananas. So you could see that halfway through the flip it kind of went nope. And decided that it wasn't a good idea, that it thought it was crashing. So we need to look at that. Yeah, I mean, my head going up there, nearly crashing. It's definitely more edgy. But then if I try and slow things down, let's see if it behaves under slow flight. That poor tent. Go up here. Yeah, you know, it feels pretty good. I can't get any prop wash to kick in, but that's probably because the amount of dynamic idle or other stuff. But yes, it's flying pretty good. Definitely more sporty. That's the word I'd use to describe it. More sporty. It feels more sharp, less dampened, and because it's less dampened and more sharp, I'm having a bit more of a struggle with some of the slower manoeuvres. It's not to say it's uncontrollable, it's just to say that I'm not used to it, and these aren't my rates. But the prop wash is almost eliminated, however the hang time is pretty bad. So let's just once again try coming down. So a little bit of a shimmy there, and less prop wash, less prop on idle. Yeah, pretty good. All right, let's bring this in.
Flight mode stabilized.
I'll stick it in stabilize because I don't want to come careering into my office and smash into everything. So there we are. Righty ho. Let's pick it up. So that's not bad at all. Let's not poo-poo this. Let's not shove this in the bin straight away. This is pretty decent. That as a tune is first of all, that was way more responsive, way sharper. There's definitely less dampening. It had a bit more punch. It definitely had a different experience, a completely different experience in flying that. But not just down to the rates. The rates were, of course, different, but the way the aircraft actually handled was different as well. Did I prefer it over the stock tune? Yes, hugely. Way more fun. And I think flying that stock tune it felt dampened, it felt neutral, it felt very safe, and that's kind of the idea, isn't it? It's meant to feel safe, it's meant to feel neutral, it's meant to feel good. It's still a great base to come from. But that AI tune is definitely way more punchy. Couple of things I do want to fix though. So I'm going to jump back in, share my screen on the left side. We'll get back into AI and see if we can change a couple of details. So I'll be right back with you.
2,000 years later.
We are back with AI. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the tune. And I'm going to, there's the AI tuned. Let's grab that. That is the right backup, isn't it, from this morning? Yep, 8:32. We'll load this and we're going to say, I found there was interference from the crash recovery. Ooh, revokery. I'm just going to tell it that. I'm going to say I found there was interference from good spelling, from the crash recovery. So it's updating, it's reviewed the updated dump. Crash recovery is of course on, we know that. The fix is to disable it. Now, of course we could just disable it, but can we perhaps, yeah, we want to leave turtle mode. I'm just going to do what it says. Can we dampen the settings a little? I would still like to use crash recovery. Absolutely, we can tame it so it doesn't interfere mid-flight. So you tell it what you want, right? And I don't want to turn it off completely because it can be useful. I mean, most of the time I've never found it useful, but it could be useful. So here it's going to change all the thresholds. We could run this and take it for another flight, but it gives you an idea of what you can do in terms of feedback. So we could also say, I did feel like the quad was floating when off throttle. I'm going to be really basic about it. Felt like it was floating. We all know what that is. It's either the dynamic idle is too high or there's an issue with the anti-gravity. So we'll try and find out and see if it works out. Well, see if we can see if it works out what it is. It's already picked out the dynamic idle at 30. And the I-term gain or low D-term damping is saying current is I pitch 105, I roll 100. So tuning to fix the float without losing control. It's taking the dynamic. There you go. It's taking the dynamic idle down to 27. It's lowering the I-term a touch on the pitch and roll, and it's adding a hair more D-term damping to pull it down. So it's going to take away that absolute edginess as well. Okay. What else is it doing? Optional use anti-gravity boost. So yeah, there you go. It's upping the anti-gravity as well based on my feedback. I mean, that's all the stuff that I would have done. I'm not an expert in this. Absolutely not, but I know my way around a few things. Can I have a CLI block with all the changes? So we'll take that, and then we'll grab this CLI block and we'll stick it back into the drone, and I think we'll take it for another flight. There's all of our setting changes. And then there's some unchanged stuff in there as well. I'm just going to take the whole lot again. I'm not going to interfere with anything. I'm just going to take the whole lot. But I'm not going to grab the save for now. I will grab the info so I can see it goes in. And the save we will wait. Have I not got it plugged in? I haven't got it plugged in. Let's do that. It helps if you want to program a drone if you've got it plugged in. Right, straight to the CLI. We know we're running with the last update. We have invalid value, allowed range 50 to 255 for the crash recovery rate. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to take this data, if I can grab it, and I'm going to show it to AF. Let's grab the whole thing. Back into AI. I'm going to paste the results and just see if it can pinpoint the error. It did. It's picked up the one error. So it's setting the crash recovery rate 45. It knows that. So now it's just basically changing it to 50 and then telling me to save it. So we'll do exactly that. I'm not going to tell it where it's right or wrong. We'll save that. That is now saved. Let's grab one of these battery packs. We've still got a little bit of juice left in. Let me charge. I'm going to go and charge one of these. I'm going to go charge this battery pack up and I will be right back with you.
A few minutes later.
Right, I have a charged battery. There's one other thing I want to address, which are the rates. The rates are absolutely bonkers, and I thought I'd have a quick check. As you can see, the rates here on the roll, 1400 degrees a second, which is just utterly bananas. That's not me. Maybe 950 max, and pitch is really high as well, 1273. Everything's high, so I'm going to suggest to AI to maybe make some changes and see if we can just calm that down a little bit as well. So on this, what I'm going to do is grab my current configuration. In fact, let's save it first. Let's do a preset save backup. We'll call this V2. We'll take this backup and plummet into AI and just say the rates are terrible. Can you calm them down? So here we go. Let's upload the file. V2. The rates are crazy fast. Can you slow them down at the extremities? Oh wow, caps lock as well. There we go, we'll have some caps lock, Mr. AI. It's having a good think here. I think it's gone slightly wrong. AI never goes wrong. What am I on about? Let's refresh the page. And see if I can do a Control B. So we don't have that down. Let's re-upload the file. Add file. I'm going to leave the caps in there. Make it think I'm angry. There's the file. Let's send that and just say the rates are way too much. Which response do you prefer? I get a lot of these. Thanks for the update. Dump, you're right. The current rate profile RON values are definitely on the fast/twitchy side. Yes, they are. So there it's suggesting some rates or rate changes. Slowed down at the extremities. Max rate 750 to 800. Okay, yeah, that's all right. Let's have a look on this right-hand side. What we're saying. Here's the current rate profile. Updated smooth extremes, kiss rates profile 1. So it's setting my profile for me, which I don't really want it to do because we want to run on profile 2 because that's where we've been. So let's take the rates here. Are they the same? 115, 125. Oh, they're different answers, look. So this is saying on the right hand side 800 degree a second roll pitch and 600 yaw. And on the left we're saying, what are we saying? 7 to 800 and 6 to 650. Which one do we prefer? Well, let's take the slightly slower ones. We'll change this to rate profile 2. This should be rate profile 2 because that's where we've done our stuff. Right, so rate profile 1. Let's just have a look. 125, 125, 115. Let's just punch it in here quickly rather than do CLI. Rate profile 2, 1.15, 1.15, and 1.25. I'm a donut. 1.25. 1.25 and 1.15. Then we've got 0.58, 0.58, 0.50. 0.58. 0.58, 0.5, and then on the Expo 0.4, 0.4, 0.3, 0.4, 0.4. Oops, lots of whoopsing going on today. What was that? 1.15 and that was 0.03. So that's gives us 595, 595, and 460. Yeah, let's up the rate so that it matches. There is obviously a slight discrepancy with AI and the kiss rates. It's not giving me what it's expected. Now, it reckons 800 roll, 600 yaw. So let's get this to 800 roll and 600 yaw. Because those just look too wrong. So this is the first thing we found that AI has definitely got wrong. This is the rates, but that's fine. We'll bump these up so it matches. And we'll let it know that it's got it wrong. And then what we're saying 650, 600 on the yaw. 600 on the yaw. There we go. Let's take a snip of this and we will tell it that it's wrong. And actually this is what it is. See if it likes being told it's wrong. Your rates are wrong. Here is how they work out in KISS. Not that it really matters, but I like telling AI that it's wrong. Let's save that and power up the pack and take it for a flight. What's it said? Your rates are wrong. Your rates are wrong, AI. Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I know I am. It's rare, but I know I am. KISS rate model clarified as using betaflight's KISS emulation. So yeah, it's probably got a different model for the KISS rates, and that's fine. Now we're saying that what we've got exactly CLI block that matches what you've got. Fine. Well, look, we've matched it in terms of rates. That's probably why I got the first rates so horrifically wrong. Because let's be honest, they were terrible. All right, save. Let's back up the preset as well. Save the backup. We'll call this the V2 one. Save, replace, yes. Right. Disconnect. Smash a battery in and then take it for a little flight. And this will be the final flight. And then I'll decide whether I want to keep these settings or whether there's anything I'd actually change on these settings. I think what we'll do in the next video is dive back into this, but use Manus AI, and then do some Blackbox tuning as well. So, without further ado, let's get up in the air and give this final tune a test. Here we go. Right. And we're off. Right, here is. There we are. Right, let's get into acro. Okay, rates are more manageable. That's great. That feels way more solid. Yep. A little bit of flutter there, but we are pushing the limits of this poor little thing. So, you know what? This is flying absolutely brilliantly. Obviously you can see. Let's check out some slow control. Oh, the way it stops. You know what? You know what? This is absolutely bananas. Hardly any prop wash there, even down to the floor. Feels like I've got great control. It's really doing exactly what I want it to. No way. So I'm kind of stunned in silence here because honestly this is flying absolutely beautifully. A little bit of prop wash, but you know, again, mind that person, don't want to cheese them off or upset their dog. Well, I'm absolutely stunned by this. Whew. Close. Oh yeah, 3.64 volts. Fine. I am enjoying this a lot. A little bit of flutter there. But again, it's a little 2-inch. Look what we're doing with it. 3.64 volts. All right, let's bring it in. Put it back in stabilize mode. And then I'm terrible at this, but well, we nearly crashed. Ah, yes, there we go. There's the crash. Come here, little guy. Now the difference, and this is the bit I want to get onto. You're not still connected. Here we are. This is the bit I want to get onto. Is that was a lot of fun. Not just. I mean, the first tune was acceptable. It was perfectly fine. I've got little goosebumps going on here. The stock tune was bland. It was dull. It was a bit boring. The second tune that we put in, the AI tune, the first AI tune was okay. It was a bit snappy and it was doing some weird things, but it was okay. And then after some minor refinements, taken it out for a flight, that is honestly unbelievable. And I know that a lot of you are probably going to say, oh, Mr. is unbelievable, he's using this as clickbait. No, there's not going to be a clickbaity title on this. I genuinely think that was unbelievable. We've taken a stock drone and we've applied, I would say it's a preset. I wouldn't say we're actually tuning it. A tune would mean looking at the Blackbox logs. Let's just get this defined. we'd be looking at the Blackbox logs and then altering the PID values to make sure everything's flat and what have you. I think what we're doing is we're doing a tune by flight, if you like, rather than a Blackbox tune. I'd say this is a tune by flight, aided by AI, and the results, honestly, have actually shocked me. That was fun. That was hands down brilliant fun. I'm blithering on now like an idiot, but that's really it. So final thoughts. Where do I think I am? What about all this AI stuff? Well, we'll move on to the manus.im stuff later, and we'll attack that with Blackbox logs, and we'll do some clinical PID tuning in the more sort of classic format, but we'll forward that into Manus and get it to do all of the legwork. Today we'll end this video on the ChatGPT 4.0 tuning, which is based around user feedback and then some presets that it has in its knowledge, and what I think about that. This is effectively, like I said, tuning on the fly, the road tuning version of a drone. Is it capable? Yes. Is it fully automated? No. Does it make mistakes? Yes, it does. But the reality is, for me to get to this point in a tune, after playing around with all these settings, would have taken me the best part of a day or so. I'm not Chris Rosser. He's very talented. But it does take a long time to tune a drone, as a lot of you know. And honestly, the results after, let's be honest, 20, maybe 30 minutes of shoving some data into AI to get to a preset that flies like that, from my perspective. And also I think the most intriguing thing here is that I can put my thoughts back into AI, saying I don't like this, it's doing this weird thing, this doesn't work, it's wobbling a bit. And did you notice we didn't have any interference then from crash recovery? The prop wash, it's there, guys. It's a 2-inch drone. We're going to have prop wash when we're accelerating towards the ground and trying to pull out of a 3G 20 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour dive. It's going to happen. It's a little drone. But reality is, without any PID tuning based on that toolbox, the PIDToolbox, then we're not going to get to that point, and we're not going to eliminate it entirely. It's not like one of those. So my final thoughts are this: do it, give it a try. Don't blindly go into this. If you haven't tuned a drone before, I wouldn't suddenly suggest you just hit AI and smash everything in that it suggests. I was taking a risk there. That could have gone very, very badly. I could have ended up with a drone embedded in the ceiling, or an obliterated one that smashed into the ground. So would I recommend it though? If you're bored and you want something to do and you just want to see if this makes a difference to your tune, go ahead and do it. Definitely go ahead and do it. Give it a try. I mean, I loved it. What can I say? That was a great flight. In fact, I'm going to go and charge up all my batteries and take them out and just probably spend the next hour flying that beast around the garden. So there we are. If you've made it to the end, I really appreciate you watching. I really do. I'm going to get on and start making the manus.im video and start tuning that probably in a day or two. So I'll try and get that up within a week. But for the meantime, thanks ever so much for watching. My name's Johnny. The channel's WillitMod, and if you like this, please give me a thumbs up, hit a subscribe, and do all that kind of stuff. I know it's cheesy to ask, but it does make a huge channel difference in terms of visibility. So if you can do that, that would help me out massively. Thanks once again. Take it easy. Ta-da.